Hello, and welcome to another chat about Samba. Today I am elaborating on something I spoke about in my previous video. That video was about maximizing your gains from online Samba classes. And I did talk about this in that video, but there's a whole nother video's worth of information just on that topic there. So here it is. We are talking about how to learn from different instructors, I suppose. How do we learn from different instructors? And they have different styles of dancing and different styles of teaching. And it can be very contradictory, you know. He says do this, she says do that. That person over there says something completely different, and you don't know which way is up. So I've had this come to me many times before, and all I can say is there is no right and there is no wrong. There is just better ways of dancing Samba and better ways of helping you find that, and better ways of holding your body and whatever else. So let's rewind a little bit and start with what is Samba? Question of the year. Yes. We know what Samba is, but there's no syllabus, there's no curriculum, there's no, this is how you do it and that is it, end of story. There's lots of conversation and controversy about where Samba even came from to begin with, and what encapsulates Samba and all the rest of that. So that's not something that you really need to worry about, because that's not for us to define. We're not defining Samba. We are just dancing and spreading the love and spreading the Samba joy and spreading the trying to appreciate the culture. So in saying that, everybody dances Samba differently, and sometimes that depends on who they've learned from or what their body type is, and just how they prefer to dance sometimes, really. And it also depends on their preferences as well. Some people like to dance Samba a little slower and prettier and easier, and other people like to hit it hard and put the energy in and really go for it. So every teacher or instructor or mentor, we all have our different niche or different style or different forte. So not everyone can be perfect at everything, and that's absolutely fair, because that is just how the world is and that's how life is. So I guess what you're really wanting to look for when you're finding a teacher is somebody that you like their energy, you like the way they dance, you like the way they move, and if you get into a class with them, you like their energy in a classroom or over via a screen as well. You can still feel their energy that way. So want to be someone that you click with, and you want it to be someone that has a style that you're wanting to work towards as well. So, obviously no one's going to come to me to learn how to dance Malandro. That's fine. I don't mind. I'm good with that. People come to me if they want to learn how to really put a lot of energy and power and length and big into their dancing. If you're looking for a bit more pretty or something like that, you might go and find somebody else, and that is fine. you can. I mean, you can go with someone and just learn from them and just one person and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You'll just end up learning their style and their technique, and you do run the risk of turning into a clone of them, which is, again, not a bad thing. But if you want to have your own style, then I would really highly recommend learning with lots of different people. The way that I describe moving your arms might not sit well with you. You might not understand that at all, or the way that I move my arms, it might not make sense to you. It might not sit right on your body. And you go to a different mentor and they say this, and you're like, light bulb, of course, that makes way more sense than what Gabby said. And that's great. I'm all for, I think I said this once before, or many times before, and I'm all for your success. And if that means that you take a little bit from this person's technique and you take a little bit from that person's technique and you mush it all together and you create a style that suits your body, then all the more to you. Is that even a saying? Like, I don't know. But yeah, like go, spread your wings and try different things. The next point there is, you might be searching and searching and be getting really frustrated because you're not finding what you want. I will say this, finding what you don't want is sometimes just as good as finding what you do want. So when you go and see a teacher or an instructor, whatever you want to call them, mentor, and they tell you do this, and this, and you're like, whoa, no, that doesn't sit right with me at all. And it's, it's sort of, it's not a, I don't understand what they're saying. It's an, I understand what they're saying, but it's a gut thing. Like, no, this isn't for me. And and you go, that's not for me. That's great, because now I don't have to worry about trying that anymore, and I'll just move forward and I'll try some more things over here. It's important to know what you don't want, definitely. So the best thing you can do when you're in a class with a different mentor is to listen to what they say and then do it. So usually when I have people coming into my classes for the first time, I will often say, forget what you know, forget everything people have taught you before, and try to be a blank canvas, and then put what I'm giving you onto your body, try it out. If it doesn't work, then just leave it at the door and forget it ever happened. Or if you do like it, keep it. Or if you like little bits and pieces, keep that and add that into your current technique. And sometimes I find that people are very stuck in their ways, or they think that they don't need to improve, or they can't see where they need to improve. So, I have people come into my classes in the past, and they haven't done what I've asked them to do, and they walk out with the same technique they walked in with. It's frustrating as an instructor, as a mentor, as a coach, because again, I want to see you guys succeed, but I can't do that for you. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of things that we can give to you, and we can tell you, and we can physically manipulate you and whatever else. But if you're not bringing the focus and the energy to class or practice, it won't work. So two-way street there. Try to open your mind a little bit. Open your mind. Try to, all right, let's go a little bit more spiritual here. Try to become the watcher. If you've ever heard of this before, you'll know what I'm talking about. Try to separate yourself. Internally, we separate our ego from our consciousness. So our ego is the person who thinks, talks, acts, all of that conversation that's constantly going on inside of your head. So you might be practicing in a class setting and this little person's in there going, no, that's wrong, or I can't do this, or blah, 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 blah. And all those little annoying things that person says, it gets in the way. That's being in your head, and you want to get out of that. You want to separate that, because there is a consciousness within you. There's a little voice talking, but there's somebody listening as well, right? And that consciousness just sits behind the ego. And if you can take a deep breath, relax, and sit back into the seat of consciousness, you can open yourself up a little bit more to what's going on within the class and with what the instructor is asking you to do. If you get out of your head, out of the front of your head, like if you think about it physically like that, this is where my ego is, and the seat of my consciousness is back a little bit. So if you can get away from that thinking, feeling, sort of talking person, and you sit back a little bit and you take a deep breath and you have a really good look at what the instructor is doing, and you really listen to what that person has to say without adding in stories, your own stories from your past, or things that you've seen before or made up in your head or whatever. If you can get rid of that and just listen purely consciously, I promise that will take you further, will take you to the next step. Head into a class and sit in the seat of consciousness and see what happens. I would really, really like to hear from you guys about that. If you've tried it, or if you will try it in the coming weeks, maybe, probably not, because we're all on holidays over Christmas and things like that. But let me know how you go if you do try entering a class and sitting in the seat of your consciousness and allowing that consciousness to take over your body, and leave that ego at the door, leave that thinking, feeling, little talking person at the door, and see how that changes your focus and your confidence and your ability to learn. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope that I have brought you something interesting and something valuable to think about. If you have any questions at all, hit me up. You can find my website via my link in my bio. And I'll catch you next time for chats about Samba.